Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Town of Westfield in the County of Union, New Jersey at 7:30 p.m. on the evening of Tuesday, October 20, 2015, in the boardroom of the Administration Building, 302 Elm Street in Westfield, New Jersey. The purpose of the meeting is to transact the regular business of the Board and to transact any other business to come properly before the Board. At the conclusion of the public meeting, the Board will move to the second floor conference room to conduct a Board workshop. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Westfield School Board on Friday, October 16, 2015, caused to be posted in the office of the Board of Education located at 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey, and delivered to the Westfield Leader, the Star Ledger, the Westfield Library, the Town Clerk of Westfield, Tap into Westfield, and Patch.com, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of the meeting. Dana, could we do a roll call?
Rich Matesic.
Here.
Lucy Biegler. Mark Friedman.
Here.
Brendan Galligan.
Here.
Chris Langhart.
Here.
Ginny Light.
Here.
Gretchen Olig. Here. Peggy Oster.
Here.
Mitch Slater.
Thank you. Brendan, could you lead us in the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Announcements. Peggy, anything down your end?
Yes, I have one announcement, and I apologize in the beginning if I make a mess of somebody's name. Congratulations to 21 Westfield High School students who have been named commended students in the 2016 National Merit Scholarship Program. According to the National Merit Scholarship Program, these students place in the top 5% of the students in the country who took the preliminary SAT Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test in 2014. The recipients are Jake N. Barrow, Courtney E. Casal, Albert A. Chen, Ryan Q. Dang, Marina E. Dakotas, Siddharth Ellis Warapu, Alan Y. Fang, Jack J. Fico, Cecile Fountain Jardim, Frank Anthony C. Guerrero, Liam J. Heimbokel, Eloise C. Hendricks, Jordan W. Hines, Allison E. Jarozowski, Jesse P. Liu, Rachel J. Matesic, Felicia M. Murmer, Nova L. Key, Brooke Schaefer, Elizabeth Smith, Sarah N. Steiner, and Diana C. Wu.
The tape wasn't rolling. Can you do that?
All right. Thank you. Brendan?
Yeah. No names in this one. On Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, grades K through 5 will follow an early dismissal schedule to permit time for parent conferences and curriculum planning. The schedule can be found on the back of the district calendar and on the website. Schools will be closed for students in all grades on Thursday and Friday, November 5th and November 6th, for Teachers' Convention.
This one is from athletics. This weekend, come out to support our varsity and JV boys and girls soccer teams in the Union County semifinals. The schedule will be posted on the athletic website of Westfield High School. Chris Flores, Westfield High School athletic trainer and adjunct professor at Kane University, will be a presenter at the NJEA convention on November 5th to address leadership in the classroom and breaking mental barriers to learning. Very early on Columbus Day, Westfield High School's football team and cheerleaders attended a taping of Good Morning America Monday, appearing on screen during a segment about Monday Night Football. In addition to Coach DeSarno and Athletic Director Sandy May Mary, approximately 65 students and many parents were in attendance.
No list.
No list.
The Great Pumpkin Fair will be held at Franklin School this Saturday, October 24th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The event is open to all. There will be a cookie walk, lots of great baskets to be raffled off, arts and crafts, face painting, games with prizes, and loads of food. So please take note of that.
I would love to announce that the Mets won Game 3, but it's not done yet. I can't do it. But I can tell you about last week's regional competition for our marching band was held at Towson University in Maryland. Westfield High School's marching band won both the preliminary contests and the finals in the Class A class, which included 17 bands from New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and we congratulate our Blue Devils marching band. And I can hear them from my home
Me too.
as they practice. And they were today.
It's fun.
Yeah. Keep it up.
On Wednesday, October 21st, at Rutgers University, Westfield High School teachers Kim Legan, Ryan Daly, and Mary Keller will be presenting at the New Jersey Council for the Social Studies Annual Fall Conference entitled Invigorating Your Social Studies Classroom. They will share their lesson plans and workshops they have created, entitled Connecting with the Indigenous Global Citizens Take Action and Teaching United States Supreme Court Cases.
Classroom Close-Up New Jersey, which is an Emmy Award-winning TV magazine program focusing on innovative projects in New Jersey public schools, selected our school district to showcase digital learning. Cameramen and producers filmed our teachers and students in action today. They began in Westfield High School in the morning and ended at Tamaqua Elementary School in the afternoon. Our Digital Learning Center and the Chromebook cohort, led by Adam Pizzi, were highlighted at the high school. And then Master Technology teacher Janine Gotko led first graders in a mathematics lesson using iPads. The Classroom Close-Up production team was very impressed with what they saw, noting that in their experience, our Master Teacher Technology program is unique in New Jersey. The show will be aired on February 14th and 20th and March 20th and 28th on NJTV, and also will be posted on Classroom Close-Up NJ's website, and we'll remind you as those dates get closer. I was actually there. I was interviewed briefly for it, but I was also able to hear some of our staff and watch the cohort in the midst of a meeting that was being filmed, and they did a marvelous job. It was great to listen to them talking about what they're accomplishing, and also talking about how they might have improved from just last year, and what they plan to do in the future, what they're still working towards, and how they're working together to get there. So it really was a day that I think Mr. Panera was involved in it also, and I think we all enjoyed the day, and we're proud of our staff.
Excellent. Thank you.
Nice.
The next Board of Education meeting will be held Tuesday, November 3rd at 7 p.m., a little earlier than usual start, here at 302 Elm Street. With that, I would recognize the public for agenda items only. All right, seeing no one come to the podium, I'd ask the board to approve the minutes of the board meeting held on October 6, 2015, and the private minutes of October 6, 2015. Could I have a second? Ginny, thank you. Any questions or comments on the minutes? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain. I wasn't here.
Any other abstentions? Just Mark. Okay, thank you. We'll move to personnel. Mark.
I'd like the board to consider personnel items 1 through 13, please. Second, Ginny, thank you. Any questions, comments? Dana?
Rich Matesic.
Yes.
Mark Friedman.
Yes.
Randy Galligan.
Yes.
Chris Reinhardt.
Yes.
Jenny Light.
Yes.
Gretchen Oley.
Yes.
Peggy Astor.
Yes.
Nothing else?
Nothing else. Thank you. That brings us to facilities. The Facilities Committee did meet on Friday, October 16th at 8:15 in the morning. There were two primary points of takeaway, I think, from the meeting. The first was a review by Sandy Mamery, our athletic director. She reviewed with the committee a joint proposal from the Boosters and the Westfield Baseball Association to replenish the varsity baseball infield and the grassy area just beyond the infield. The total cost of that project, including necessary irrigation work, is about $37,000 to be split by the two organizations. That work will begin essentially immediately so that they don't miss the fall and winter growing season, and of course to ensure the field is ready for play in April. I just want to send a big thank you to both the Westfield Baseball Association and the Boosters, not only for supporting our schools continuously, but for partnering and doing so in a way that it's just a win-win for everybody, your organizations, and most importantly, all the students in town. So we really do thank you for that. The second primary topic of that Facilities Committee meeting was a discussion of the proposed bond work to fund project work in the district. Specifically, we heard feedback received during a recent bond committee meeting, which included members of the public. And I'm going to defer to the finance section of the meeting later tonight, a discussion of that, of what was brought up at the bond committee and the current thinking on the bond, but that was a topic of the Facilities Committee. Those were the primary 2 points. With that, I have no other report for facilities, so we'll move on. Long-range planning.
No
Jenny?
report.
No report. Thank you. Policies, I know Lucy's out. Did Lucy leave a report or?
Yeah, I have a brief report. The the policy committee met on October 14th. We discussed the implementation of a policy that governs how new sports or extracurricular programs can be instituted. Obviously, we've had a number of parent groups come and solicit, or request to add new varsity sports, and so we thought it would be appropriate for us to try and put a policy together so it's clear to the public how to proceed. It's still in the infancy stages, but we got the ball rolling. And we also discussed whether a policy was needed to address concerns brought to the board about the recruitment of students for our athletic teams and tryouts. We directed the superintendent to follow up on a couple of those items, and she's going to report back, and then we will, of course, follow up with the board. But that was the sum and substance of our meeting.
I just want to add one thing. So today when I was at the high school, one of our students informed me that he is in the process of getting ready to propose a new sport, and he's been working on how he would be able to finance it. And he is quite a determined young man. I've met him before. So I would imagine we better move quickly in the policy committee.
This is, I assume, boys volleyball, perhaps?
It is, yes.
All right.
All right.
It's good to know we're timely.
Nothing else. All right. Curriculum, instruction, and program. Gretchen.
Sure. The curriculum committee met on October 8th. And I circulated notes from that meeting. We talked about Andrea Brennan and Pamela Ackerman Garcia came and proposed 2 new courses. And so in the regular course of things, there's no new curriculum for us to bring to the board at this point. They just they have ideas for 2 new courses, and they wanted to go ahead to take those further, start to write the curriculum, take that to instructional council, at which point it would come to us. One was for a 12th grade humanities class, and one was a elective semester-long women's studies course, which it's not altogether clear whether it would be for English, social studies credit, or both. But they were great presentations, and there was great conversation at the table about it, so I'm excited to see the curriculum that comes back. I would ask the board at this point to approve agenda items 1 and 2. Number 2 is on our addendum for the evening, which relates to field trips. So can I have a second, please? Jenny, thanks. Does anybody have any questions about the agenda items tonight? Dan?
Rich Matesic.
Yes.
Mark Friedman.
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Chris Langhart.
Yes.
Ginny Lights.
Yes.
Gretchen Olich.
Yes.
Peggy Oster.
Yes.
I don't have anything else.
Thank you. Move to finance. Mark?
So I'd like the board to consider items, finance items 1 through 13. Number 12 was amended at the table. That's I guess the only change there is what was originally 30,000 is now 37,000 to what Rich was talking about before for the varsity baseball field. And then number 13, I'm going to ask Dana to please explain that one.
So the committee meeting that we had last week with the community to talk about the bond referendum, we had presented the items that we have been terming as top priority 1 projects, mostly related to health and safety. So those projects are fire alarm replacements, PA system replacements, boilers in several schools, asbestos flooring replacements, an installation of a vertical lift in a couple of schools, and some technology upgrades. And there's also a replacement of a gym partition. So most of those items, again, revolve around health and safety issues in the schools. And the total of those is about $8.6 million. We approved the applications to the state, the submission of the applications to the state back in June for all of those projects. At the meeting that we had last week, or 2 weeks ago, the community members were saying, why not, there's other lists of items that are important, why don't we do either a separate question or add things to this proposal for the auditorium upgrades at the middle schools, both middle schools, and also the TV studio renovations, which are greatly needed at the high school. So the board doesn't have to approve moving forward with that bond resolution at this point, but if we are gonna consider it, we need to submit applications to the state to get the ball rolling. So what we've put on the agenda tonight are 3 applications, one for each school, Edison, Roosevelt, and the high school, for, as I said, auditorium renovations at both the middle schools and the TV studio at the high school. If you approve this, we will move forward with submitting all the applications. And then as we go down the process, if the board decides to go forward with either with a separate bond question or one bond question, those are all decisions we'll make going forward. Just as a timeline discussion again, we had been trying for a January bond referendum. Probably by adding another question is going to push off the bond referendum until March. And even that, we kind of have to move, so that's why we are adding these resolutions tonight to get this approved, because we're starting to get close to missing the March deadline if we don't act quickly. And it's all dependent really on the state. Once we submit applications to them, they have 90 days to approve, and they also can get extensions to those 90 days. It all depends on how busy they are, and so we can't really judge that. As we get them down there, if other districts are sending down applications, it could slow ours down. So it will send these in right now, and we'll move forward with the committee and with the board, and we'll have plenty of time, obviously, before the March referendum to decide whether or not we want to do one question or 2 questions, or shift some of these items, or remove some of these items if you want to.
Dan, I had the impression from George that we were probably, even if we just went forward with the first question, that we would probably be looking at the March deadline anyway, because we
Right.
still haven't got, did we get the energy audits back yet?
No, we didn't. We're still hoping, that we've been told that it's in the final stages. We're still hoping to get it this week. But yes, we were pushing the January date even with the original
Right.
items. These will just probably slow it down a little bit. But if we get back approvals quickly, if the state can turn these around quickly, then we
Right.
can still look at the January date.
And George also said that the, because we've looked at the auditoriums before and the work that needs to be done, because we've had parent groups approach us, that he had a lot of that information already compiled. So hopefully
Right.
it's not too onerous to add these, to get this paperwork in.
Yeah,
correct?
no, it won't be, and once we have all of our paperwork in, then we can ask the state for a real feel on how long it's gonna take them to respond. This division of the state works pretty closely with us, and will tell us, how backed up they are at that point. So we'll have an idea then, probably within the next few weeks or so, whether January's gonna be doable or not. We don't wanna go past March, because
Right.
after March, the next date is until September. So we certainly don't want to do that unless we really, really have to.
Okay.
So any other questions or comments, Rich? You wanna
Yeah,
make
just
any?
2 quick points. Dana, in the resolution, it refers to question 2, but from your comments, I take it that could be question 2, or 1 question, or no question at all.
Right, correct.
Okay. And the other thing was that you had mentioned the 8.6 million, the main bond we've been talking about. Is it correct that qualifies for the 40% contribution from the state, which would mean that the taxpayers of Westfield would be closer to 5.2 million?
Yes, that
Okay.
would be correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
And then, I don't know if you said this, but I've heard the number. So the first question, the thing that's the first question now is 8.6 million or whatever. This one was, ballpark was what?
3.6.
3.6, okay,
Yeah.
great.
And it's possible that some of these items, probably not a lot, but some of these may qualify also for the 40%.
Okay, great.
Yeah, George actually, I thought, said that they would.
Yeah.
He thought if not all of them, almost all of
Yeah.
them, which would make that 2.1 or 2.2. Right.
Can I just, I thought it's worthwhile just to take a second for, Mitch and I attended the bond steering committee meeting that met with members from the public. And I think we were both, and probably Dr. Dolan and Dana, who are also there, were a little bit surprised when folks were saying, well, why not make it bigger? But they were saying that in response to, our explanation that we were going out for a bond now because interest rates are low, construction costs are low, and we have the advantage of getting 40% back from the state. And so we wanted to kind of strike while the iron was hot. And so I know it seems like all of this happened very fast, and it did, because now, the facilities committee meeting, and then we have this timeline to get the paperwork in to still make the March ballot. But I look forward to further conversation with all 9 of us about, whether this makes sense and whether it's something that, that we want to add to the bond question or not. So I just wanted to say that because I didn't want it to seem like it kind of came out of the blue. That was the genesis, and that's why we're moving so fast. But I'm glad we have lots of time for all of us to reach consensus.
Any other questions? I need a second. I don't think I got one. See that I wrote down, get a second. I didn't want to have to get Ginny telling me you need a second.
Actually, the next time, you really need to put it on the table before you have the
Oh,
conversation.
okay. See that I didn't do it right.
No, but you will.
All right.
Richard Jessic.
Yes.
Over
5 years and 11 months.
Takes time.
Mark Friedman,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Chris Langhart,
Yes to all except number 13, which I abstained from.
Jeannie Lights,
Yes.
Gretchen Ulich.
Yes.
Peggy Oster.
Yes.
That's it. Mark, anything else?
No, thank you.
That's it. All right. Legislation. Brendan, anything?
No report.
Thank you. Technology, I know Mitch is not here. I'm not aware of him leaving a report. Oh, okay. I'd ask the board to note the notes for the record. With that, ask if there's any unfinished business. Any new business? Liaison reports,
I have one.
please.
I attended the Roosevelt PTSO meeting, and unfortunately, I was a little late, but I did tell them that I would announce at this meeting. Roosevelt is having an issue on their fields with animals, and we as a board are trying to keep the fields open for the public to use, but we just they wanted me to put out there, if people, when, you're not supposed to have any animals on the field, but if for some reason your animal does go on the field, if you could clean up after it. Our students are somewhat suffering when they go out to play gym and have an accident with some animal droppings. There you go. I think of droppings. So it is a big issue for them at Roosevelt, and we're just trying to both serve the public by leaving the fields open for everybody to use them, but we also want our students to be safe and not have any issues. So I did tell them I would mention that at the board meeting.
No, I appreciate it, and actually, we've had the request to actually lock the field, and so the facilities committee has considered that and wanted to instead get the word out that, please don't use, it's not a matter of cleaning up, don't use the field in the first instance for walking your dog, and hopefully that will help, and if it doesn't, we'll consider other things, but common courtesy and I think respect for the people who use the field should carry us through. So thank you for bringing that up. Any other liaison reports?
I'll just say, I went to Franklin and Jefferson PTO meetings. We talked about the bond, and there's great conversation happening. I think the community seems to be, first of all, the Franklin PTO meeting, incredibly well attended. It knocked my socks off. But so it was really good conversation to hear from the public, and so that's all.
All right. Anyone else? Thank you. With that, I would recognize the public for questions and or comments on any topic. All right. Seeing no one come to the podium, then we do have a workshop session tonight. Do we need a motion to move into that, Dana, or do we just?
No, we can just move.
Okay, so we will reconvene. in the upstairs conference room in 5 minutes. Thank you.